We know why we're here. To build a new generation of airplanes to connect the world.
Airplanes that fly cleaner and farther on less fuel.
And make non-stop travel possible to more places.
Around the globe, the people of Boeing are working together to bring us together.
That's why we're here.
You talk too much. I can't believe the things that you say.
Jim Webb, Lindsey Graham.
Dianne Feinstein, Richard Lugar, Rob Portman, Tom Vilsack, Ralph Nader,
Chuck Hagel,
Senator Evans,
John McCain.
That if you really believe that this is doomed to failure and going to cost American lives, then you should do what's necessary to prevent it from happening, rather than a vote of, quote, disapproval, which is fundamentally a vote of no confidence.
What I would do is say we're not going to fund an escalation of this war. That's what I think we should do. I would not cut off funding for the men and women who are part of our troops and serving in Iraq.
Immediately.
When you say immediately, what does that mean?
Means as soon as possible. I think Congress has a responsibility, a moral and constitutional responsibility, to say to this president, enough. We've had 4 years of effort in Iraq. It's pretty clear the surge is not going to work.
That the war is weighing down your campaign and that your campaign is losing altitude because of it. Do you feel that?
Well, I think there's that maybe perception inside the Beltway, but outside, a lot of Republicans are rallying to this belief, but I think we're doing just fine, and I think polls indicate that. Am I going to respond to a negative attack if there is one? Obviously, I would do so, but I hope we would do so in an honorable fashion. We will run an honorable campaign.
Bill Clinton, at this point in time in his race in 1991, was in 11th place. It's always more difficult to convince folks at home the fact that you're running for president. We are sort of a humble lot in Iowa.
Are you going to run for president?
I'll make that decision as the time develops. But last point on this, I'm not an anti-war candidate. I am a member of the United States Senate who has taken a position.
Do you have any plans to run for president in 2008?
It's really too early to say.
If Hillary Clinton gets the Democratic nomination, would that encourage you to go forward and put your name on the ballot?
It would make it more important that be the case.
Hillary Clinton, who has a problem with the Democratic base, because what they really want her to say is, I was wrong in voting to authorize this war, and she's not doing that. So basically, her real tack now is, this is George Bush's war.
They're not really dealing with the reality of Iraq. They're dealing with the reality of Iowa. It's all about political calculation.
What is your biggest difference with Hillary Clinton?
I think we have a difference about from what I've heard, about what we ought to do in Iraq right now. On this show and tomorrow, we'll be laying out details of a universal health care plan.
Would you be willing to raise taxes in order to help pay for this?
Yes, we'll have to raise taxes.
Do you believe you're born gay?
I think that, first of all, I'm not an expert on sexual orientation. I think that there's a real possibility that people are born gay, yes.
A better policy way of doing it is, at some point ahead of us, with time for redeployment, to remove the authority to authorize force.
How much time before you do that?
Well, I certainly think by the end of the year.
China was playing inside Vietnam when I was in Vietnam. So was the Soviet Union. The Chinese situation is a direct parallel to the situation we have with Iran right now. We had a rogue nation with nukes, with an American war on its border that it was assisting, and we aggressively dealt with them and brought them into the international community.
Jim Webb worked for Ronald Reagan. Well, he missed the economic message of Ronald Reagan, and I think he missed what Ronald Reagan did in the Cold War. We need more troops, we need more economic aid, we need more political assistance.
Senator, in fact, I think if you want to go to a disingenuous resolution, this idea about putting benchmarks on the Iraqi
Senator
government.
McCain's idea.
Yes, and then having no consequences. Now, that's intellectually dishonest.
Well, I don't support it. I think this is an inconsequential situation, although I agree people who want to debate Iraq without doing anything about it may very well want to vote for or against this.
Colts versus Bears.
I wish the Panthers were playing. I'm going to be for the Colts.
There goes the Illinois primary.
I know, so be it. I'll live with that. But Senator Obama's running anyway.
I got to say Colts.
I'm going to go with the Bears. Senator McCain, thanks very much.
You talk too much. I can't believe the things that you say.
Boeing.